What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of Cigars and Hip Hop. So what's been going on? This one's going to be a short one just because we've had scheduling problems. But hey, I'm going to take over and, carry it on. Been checking out the news, and, lately there's been a lot of controversial stuff happening with hip hop and, in the music business. So first and foremost, not sure why I'm going to cover this, but or even discuss it, but kind of crazy. I believe Tekashi 6ix9ine, who, as you all know, is that rapper that colors his hair. He's got all kinds of teeth colors, which, hey, I ain't judging, but whatever, right? Supposedly he got jumped, and his shit got stolen. And hey, that's what happens when you flash shit around. That's what I think, anyways. You don't walk around flashing shit around and talking shit about people and not expect people to plan to take you out or even fuck with you. But in any case, hopefully he learned something from that. And if he didn't, you know how that goes, right? You play hard like that, and you're gonna fall hard too. So then the other thing I heard was that that Nicki Minaj was gonna sign the guy, Tekashi 6ix9ine, which is actually weird. But hey, that's her, and I guess she likes controversial artists. But whatever, right? Enough about that. Hey guys, I got to read the Jay Prince memoir, The Art of Respect. If you haven't checked it out, and I ain't getting no credit by saying this, but just letting you guys know, and gals, that's an interesting story, very interesting story. Say what you will about the man, but after reading that book, I think I have a whole new respect for the guy. Just his demeanor, his style, and his drive. It's stuff to be admired. So no wonder he is who he is and where he is, and where he's taking his company and his self-worth, and as the person who he is. He's very well respected, and some people talk shit about him, but the guy he's a strong player in the game. He had a dream, he had the drive and commitment. So if you want to read something inspirational this weekend or the next, check it out. I know they have it on audio and they have it on book, but I think if you're out there and you got teenagers, or you got someone you want to inspire, buy them that book. Or if you want to inspire yourself, you should buy that book. It's quite very interesting, actually. Probably one of the best books I've read in a while. So I got to listen to Nas. Sorry. So I in the last podcast, I was talking about how the blogs were saying shit about him not bringing in, issues about marital issues. But whatever, that's personal shit. I have to agree with my boys on the podcast. That's personal shit. That's on him. Whatever, what he does professionally. Going back to the album, the guy still got it. It's a good album. I got to give it to him. I know Kanye West produced it, so he is. He is who he is when he produces. So I like it. Nas can still flow. He's definitely still there about the issues, and I did hear, but in very detail, he does bring about some shit about about what people think of him, and where people see him and all that. So good for him. It was good shit. I actually liked it. I was bopping to it too. And then let's see what else. This yesterday I smoked going back to cigars. I smoked a Liga Privada from the Drew State, you know. And actually, that was a great smoke. I would definitely recommend it to anyone looking for a great smoke, you know, willing to spend about at least an hour, chill, you know, whatever you drink, water, you know, brandy, cognac, whatever. Yeah, definitely. You should enjoy that one, man. That one's really, really good. Starts out very soft, you know, towards the middle, starts getting a little stronger, and of course at the end, it's just, it's just very, very strong and spicy. So I definitely was enjoying that one. Yeah, so the other shit that's been happening is I saw an article about some rap beef, you know, 21 Savage and Nipsey Hussle, you know, I don't know, apparently 21 Savage's people shot towards Nipsey Hussle's, you know, direction while he was at some concert in Atlanta, in East Atlanta, of all places. And, you know, I mean, this violent shit gotta stop, but hey, you know, this shit's been around a long time, but I don't know. We got so much shit going on. I mean, I guess you can't talk to, you know, people and say you can't do this shit. You shouldn't be killing your own. You know, people got beef, I guess, but still, I don't know how many of you remember that song from the fucking, I think it was either late 80s or early 90s. You know, Self-Destruction. Remember that shit when all these rappers, males and females, got together and they were talking about how we need to, you know, stop the road we're going to because we're going to self-destruct, you know. I mean, and no matter how you want to look at it, you know, that shit's just got to come on. You know, we got to fucking evolve. So, yeah, if you haven't heard that song, it's called Self-Destruction. You should check it out. But I know a lot of my old school people know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the other thing I got to do was, which actually I'm a little late in the game, but I got to see Childish Gambino's This Is America video. And, you know, I don't know why people are shocked. You know, I guess everyone's going to talk and have their say about what they see or hear, you know, regarding his music and video. But I mean, what I'm seeing is you know, a great musical representation of, you know, what's going on in America. So, and who knows? Maybe this is going on worldwide, but specifically in America. You know, he's depicting it as, you know, this is what gun violence looks in America, and I don't know why people are shocked. I mean, that's exactly what's going on, you know. So, and I'm not saying it's. I'm one of those where I'll say it's not the guns. I mean, yeah, maybe the gun rules need to be looked at. That's one, but let's step back a little bit. You know, what about psychological issues? You know, back in the 80s, you know, there was some funding that got stopped for, you know, mental patients and for people who needed this you know, this benefit to be able to go see their doctor, or, you know, if you didn't have insurance. And, you know, so there's a lot of, you know, people out there with psychological issues, and I'm not saying, you know, you and I are crazy. I'm just saying there's a lot of pressures in life. There's a lot of people running around with fucking stress, and you know, let's be fucking realistic, right? You know, I always say that people always wonder why or how, you know, someone can get up and grab a gun and fucking start shooting people. But it's you got to think about what happens. You know, you got to think about when you get so fucking stressed out and driven to the edge. You cross a line that would be irrational. You cross into the irrational. You know, you're no longer making irrational choices. Once you cross that fucking line, it's no longer, you know, the whole, the good person in you. It's a fucking whole new persona who just fucking lost all their irrational thought. So all they do is grab a gun and they're so pissed. I don't know if you've ever been so pissed off that the first thing you do is, hit the wall or hit your car or kick something. Well, think about something like that where someone just fucking loses it, grabs the gun, and does the first thing that comes to their mind. At that point, they've lost it. No longer irrational. So, I mean, that's what I mean when I say psychological issues. Not only is it guns, but also we need to look at that shit as a whole. You know what I mean? There's people committing suicide. There's people on medicine. There's a lot of fucking stress because of, where the U.S. is today in terms of politics. And maybe, since 2008, people lost their homes. It's been years since people been able to get a higher wage, who are still working on low wage, just fucking trying to make it. That's fucking stressful. And there's obviously an economic inequality happening in America today. And then you got to go back as far as, at least our generation, if you've been through, anyone who went through 9/11, or as a kid that, you were so young during this fucking 9/11 shit, the Iraqi war and all that, you're gonna be stressed out. I mean, that's just gonna happen. It's gonna be a lot of stress. You saw your parents stress out, whether they lost the house or whatever. So think about all that shit. I mean, those are the issues that we need to bring about. And if you so care, then if you so care about those issues, that's what you should go after. You should definitely go after not only the guns, but also, hey, we need more, health care, more affordable health care. We need that. We can't let that shit go. And, I mean, just so you guys know, this podcast was mainly supposed to be hip-hop and cigars. But, we're not afraid to go walk on those areas where, hip-hop, hip-hop gets political, Cigars, there's politics behind that too, because there's rules being passed against or for. And with hip-hop, hip-hop's been political too. If you remember NWA, when they got their letter from the government saying, hey, you can't do that shit, hey, it's political. So anyone who wants to say, why the fuck is this guy's getting political? Well, politics puts its hands everywhere, right? So that's just the way the fucking ball rolls. So in any case, you guys have comments, you guys want to talk about other stuff, be sure to drop it off at our, whatever podcast you listen to, whatever podcast catcher you're listening to. Just leave us a comment. We appreciate it. We definitely do.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Cigars and Hip Hop. We'll see you next time. Peace.